Who is the most hated character in Arknights? I never once asked myself this question, but I woke up to it thanks to Twitter. And first I thought like, well, that's a weird question to ask. But now, after thinking about it for a while, it is actually quite intriguing. The Arknights community, unlike other communities, doesn't really hate on one specific character. Most have like this one character they dislike and sometimes bash, especially for content creators. We choose one character we just want to bash on. But this doesn't really mean we hate this specific character. It's more about like the lols and giggles. But I didn't know how to start to look for the most hated one in Arknights. So I tried to think about who is the most hated character in like other communities. So first I thought of Genshin. Now Genshin might have the opposite problem where too many characters are hated. Every time a character is getting released, it sometimes sparks a controversy. But controversy is a good word. I was thinking about who in Arknights sparked a controversy. The only one I can think about is Character. When Character came out, she was the first broken limited operator, so you can only get her in a certain amount of time. Now you can't get her anymore. This sparked a minor controversy that it shouldn't be like this, it makes the game pay to win. But there's also another group of people that dislike Character, and this is because she is the most broken operator who have ever been released. And there's some people like me that think broken characters kinda destroy the game, it kinda destroys the balance they built up. So this made her being disliked by people that don't like power creep characters, but also free-to-play players. But this was a long time ago, and most people don't even remember this controversy. And people that don't like power creep characters are also a big minority here. So it's very likely this won't make her the most disliked character. Next on the list that might be the most hated characters, well, it could actually be two. It might be Ak or Hang, since those were both on the same banner as Nien, and Nien came out in the very first limited banner, and people loved Nien, but didn't like the fairy so much. So eventually, people started to get Hangs, and people started hating him. It was crazy. Even to this day, you see a lot of memes about like the Hang curse. Even newer players still know about the Hang curse because people have PTSD from this. About Akto, he's a 6-star, but again he's a fairy and was once considered the worst 6-star of all. Now the opinion has changed. People actually started liking him. Like, liking him is maybe a big word, but at least they liked to play him. It turned out he really wasn't the worst 6-star in the game. But in the end, he's also super fun to play, which actually made his reputation go up a little bit. But the question never really specified if it has to be playable characters or NPCs. So if we include story, there's a few characters that are really disliked. And two of them would be, for example, Cache or Mephisto. But there's people like me that don't even care to read the story. So I don't even know who Cache is. And well, Mephisto, I have seen bits of him. If we assume half of the people do actually read the story, then there's an entire other half that really doesn't even know them. Those I've previously mentioned might have actually been the most hated character in their time when they came out, but most of the cases are already years ago, and so newer players don't even remember that. So if we really have to find, if we actually want to find the most hated characters in the game, it has to be something that is recent. But controversy in Arknights is really far and few, and very rarely goes directly to the character. And so I myself don't know who it is. I had to turn to the people that know. And this is the community. I made a community post asking, hey, who do you think is the most hated character in Arknights? Answers started coming in. Brooch, Tsukinogi, Windfling, Character, Ak, many different answers. But the name I saw the most is Catapult. For the people that don't play Arknights, why would a 3-star that looks so generic be the most hated character? Well, I didn't think of Catapult at first myself. This is because I haven't really done a lot of recruitments recently. But if you do recruitments or polls, she is the character with the longest voice line. And not only that, she is a low rarity character, so the odds of getting her are high. So if you do like your 8 recruitments per day, there's a high chance you encounter her voice line. And unlike many other voice lines, you can't really just skip it. You have to listen through it. And that shit takes really long. And unlike any other character we discussed before, this is a recent thing. Even newer players know this. And so there is a really high chance, because of something so minor, that Catapult might actually be the most hated characters in the entire Arknights franchise. But at the moment, this is just an assumption. What we need is stone cold evidence. The question is, where do we get this? My answer is make a community poll. And let me say something, as of recording this video right now, you see the poll is scheduled. I don't know who it is. I have no clue. I am just gonna assume it's gonna be Catapult as first, Character as probably second, or Mephisto or Cache. Those are like the second places. Hang and Dak I don't think will get a lot of votes. But this is just an assumption. I have no damn clue. Those were the ones that were mentioned the most. And I am very intrigued who it is gonna be. It's about 2 hours later of this very scientific experiment. But I haven't checked yet who is actually leading the vote. And it is actually Catapult. Wow. People really hate Catapult. I am surprised to see that still, like Hang and Dak, two furries that were actually not liked for a long time, is tying with Character that is actually quite a top tier waifu. So there is actually a lot more people that don't like power creep characters than I expected. But in the end, Mephisto and Cache, I actually thought like it's gonna be like equal between Character and them, but damn. I mean, still, they're both together, but still. And as for the winner, Catapult, she has always been kinda known for being disliked. I just didn't know how bad it was. But just consider, she is the most disliked character in the game, the most hated character in the game. Just for having a bit of a longer voice line. This should really show how hateful this community is towards the creators, towards the artists and stuff, right? It's nice. It's honestly insane how this is the only thing that make people hate a character. This is just showing how chill the Arknights community is. Well, with that, I hope you enjoyed this little video. But with that said, thanks so much for watching, and I would say have a nice one. Bye bye from my side, have a good one, and see ya.